tuning in. Today I am working on a freeform sculptured vase. And I've seen these on a lot of channels and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And I wanted to give it a shot. I've never made one before. So I have this bud vase. It's not a huge vase, pretty small. It's pretty heavy on the bottom, which is good. I tried making this once before and my resin piece was too big and the vase couldn't stand up. It kept tipping over. So I got a vase with a heavier bottom, and then I'm gonna make this part smaller. So I'm giving it another try. So I kind of tried to make a circle on this piece of plastic that's about as tall as this vase is gonna be. So when the resin is draped over it, it probably won't be quite as tall as the vase. I think I'm gonna put the vase about here so that it's shorter in the front and taller in the back when I drape it over the vase. That's what I'm envisioning. We'll see if I can actually get it to do that. But this is the circle. This is just a shower curtain. And I warmed it up a little bit with my heat gun to get rid of some of the wrinkles that are in it, but you can see there's still a few wrinkles. I'm hoping they don't transfer over to the resin, but they might, we'll see. And I've got some dog hair. I had to lay this on the floor to cut it because it's so big. So of course now I have dog hair. Just making sure I got it all. All right, so my plan is I'm gonna put some glass around the edges, and then I'm gonna pour the resin in the middle, and then hopefully the glass will prevent the resin from leaking out past this line. So we'll see. So let me get the glass and we'll get going with that. Okay, so these are the colors I'm gonna be using. I have this beautiful blue crushed glass. That's what like I said, I'm gonna put that around the rim. And then the colors that I'm using, I want them to be translucent. So I'm using some pigment pastes. Now, the thing with pigment paste is if you put too much in, it becomes opaque. So I'm gonna have to be really careful not to overdo it. But I'm using 2 of the Just Resin pastes. I'm using the navy blue, which is a cream color, and then the magic blue, which is this beautiful shimmer. And you can see on the tops kind of what the colors look like. That's the opaque version of the color. So I'm gonna have to, like I said, I'm gonna have to use less so that it's transparent. And then I'm gonna use this turquoise deep acrylic ink. So I'm gonna go from like the navy blue to the medium blue to like this turquoise teal. So hopefully it'll kind of, what I'm hoping is the colors will all kind of blend and then the center is gonna be clear. So that's my plan. So we'll see if that's what actually transpires. So I'm going to get my resin mixing. I have a mixer off to the side here. So I'm gonna have the resin mixing while I'm putting the glass down, and then hopefully once I'm done with the glass, the resin will be good to go and I can mix the colors. So I'll be right back. So I don't want this to be like super thick, this rim. There we go. Just trying to make this lay flat. And this line that I drew is on the underside. I flipped it over because I don't want the ink to transfer onto the resin, which I think it probably would, because it was a paint marker, so. Okay. So this is not wanting to lay flat. You know what? I'm gonna tape it down. I think if I pull it out and then tape it, it'll stay flat. So I'll be right back. Let me do that. Okay, I'm back. So a few changes here, as you can see. So I pulled the piece of paper out from underneath the tray because the tape wouldn't stick to it. So I had to stick it to the metal tray. So I've got the plastic taped down. It's much flatter. So I've got the glass spread around. Resin's all mixed and ready to get the colors in. So I've got a little bit more in this cup. So I'm gonna do the dark blue in that one because that's got the most to cover. And then I'll do the light blue and then the turquoise in this one. So let me get a couple sticks. So normally what I do with 1 ounce to get an opaque blue is it's usually just like 1 scoop out of this container. So what I'm gonna do is scrape my stick off and just do like a little tiny bit, and we'll just see what that looks like. And you could use alcohol inks for this. I mean, alcohol ink is obviously very transparent. You could use the acrylic inks. I just don't have a lot of blues. I have 1 blue, and it's a very bright, like royal blue, but I don't have any other blues in the acrylic ink. Otherwise I'd be using those instead. The reason I'm not using alcohol ink is because it fades, especially if it's in sunlight. And thinking like this is a vase, you know, people are gonna put flowers in it. They might set it in front of a window, which I always discourage because resin will yellow eventually. But the alcohol inks are gonna fade a lot faster than the resin's gonna yellow. So I prefer to not use alcohol inks in anything that I think might be exposed, like in a window. All right, so it is transparent, but just barely. So that was, I probably could have used half of that amount. So that's what I'm gonna do with this one. This one's actually not as opaque, but I'm gonna put a little bit less of this one in there. You know, it's got to stir these really well, because a lot of times the color will sink to the bottom. And it's kind of chunky too, so you always want to mix, anytime you use pastes, you always want to mix them really good before you add them to your resin. And if they're hard, you can just set the container in a little bowl of hot water for a couple minutes and they'll soften up. I have a couple pastes over there that are just rock hard, and they're the same brand as these. So I don't know why some of them get real hard and some of them don't. All right, let's try that. Oops. And this blue has a bit of like a purpley sheen to it, almost an iridescent, there's like a beautiful lighter blue sheen and then almost a little purple undertone. Such a cool paste. Shimmers tend to be a little more transparent than the creams too. So if you do want the shimmer to be opaque, you have to use quite a bit of it. Yeah, so that's very transparent. You probably can't tell on camera there, but it's nice and sheer. All right, so then for this, I'm gonna just do 3 drops and we'll see what that looks like. So I have a total of 8 ounces mixed up. I need to measure this. Let me measure this and see how big this is. It's about 15 inches across. And my vase is, it's a small vase, about 1 3/4 inches. About 7.5. So I've got 8 ounces total mixed up, and I don't want it super thick. The trial that I did a few weeks ago, it was way too thick. So I'm hoping this time around it's a little thinner, so it's not going to be quite as heavy, and it'll be a little easier to manipulate. These inks, you do have to mix quite a bit. They don't really like to blend in resin, not as easily as some other things do. Okay, so colors are mixed. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the clear. I'm gonna pour just a drizzle of the clear over top of this glass. I don't need to put color in the glass. I just need to get some clear resin in the glass so the glass stays together. And then I'm gonna come in with the blue as like my first circle, and then the second blue, and then the teal, and then I'll pour the rest of the clear in the middle. So I'm hoping I have enough. If this were a tray, it would not be enough resin if I was doing a tray, but since I want this to be fairly thin, I'm hoping it'll be okay. Just making sure I'm getting the glass nice and saturated. Especially I'm really focusing on the pieces that are on the outer edge, not so much on the inner edge. But I don't want the resin to spread out beyond the glass. So I am just using my stick to put the resin down. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I have a little bit running over here. I'm just gonna try and wipe it up. I'm just putting some more glass in just to try and keep that resin within the circle. It's like a little dam of glass. All right, so I think that's pretty good. I could play with this for the next hour and try to make it perfect, but nah. Perfection's overrated. All right. So first is the navy blue. I'm just gonna pour a really thin stream because I wanna make sure I have enough to go around. And these colors will blend and they'll spread. All right, next is the lighter blue. So same thing, I'm just gonna pour a light, thin stream. All right, and then my teal. This is one of my favorite colors of all time. It's gonna look a little green against the blue, but when they blend, it's such a pretty combination. All right, now the clear. I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit into these these open spaces. Okay, so it looks like I've got a little wrinkle here. Let me just tape this down and stretch it just a little because there's kind of a wrinkle going on there. If I pull the plastic a little tighter. Okay, all right, heat gun. You don't want to overdo it because you don't want to melt your plastic. So I will come back in a second and do a little bit more. Right now I'm just gonna push some of these back in that blew out. All right, so there's some bubbles down in here. I'm just gonna coax them to the surface. I'm sure they'd probably rise up on their own, but all right, I'm gonna leave this alone now. Let's see what time it is. It's about 6:30. So I'll be back about 11:30 to drape this over the vase. I think about 5 hours should be good. It should still be flexible enough by then, but set up enough. So I'll be back in 5 hours to check on this, and we'll keep on going. Okay guys, I'm back. It's been 6 hours. I checked it at 5 hours and it was still a little sticky, so I gave it another hour. So it is still very flexible, but I think we're at a good spot where I can drape it over the vase and not have it ooze anywhere. So I put my vase on a little cup just to kind of get it off the ground. So hopefully you can see from this angle. I'm just basically gonna drape this over, and I'm gonna try and make it so it's slightly longer in the back. It's actually centered there, so I'm just gonna just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try and shape it. And then I'm just gonna use some tape to tape it in place. And I'm just gonna put the tape on the plastic. I'm not gonna put it on the resin. just on the plastic. Oh, hopefully it'll stick. Oh, tape doesn't want to stick to that plastic. Oh boy. I'm hoping for a shape that's a little bit more like this. Let me get some packing tape. I wonder if that'll stick a little better. My tape gun. Let's see if this tape will stick better. Yeah, it doesn't want to stick to the plastic. Well, that doesn't help any. So I did have these pieces of plastic that I thought I could wrap around it if I needed to kind of help compress it a bit. But since the tape won't stick, I'm not really sure what to do. Sticks to my gloves nicely. Hoping that doesn't leave lines. I'm thinking it probably will. All right, we'll just let it sit like this overnight. Make sure it's level. This is much more complicated than I was anticipating. It's kind of wanting to tip. I just want to make sure that it's balanced. So obviously I don't want this, you know, after it's all hardened, I don't want it to tip over. I'm also seeing where this plastic is wanting to kind of dig in, so I'm just folding it down. Try and get rid of that sharp edge. Yeah, it keeps wanting to fall that way. There's a little corner, like the resin has made a little corner on the bottom here, and that's what's tipping it. So I think, let's see, this might Hopefully this will stick good enough. I'm just gonna stick it to the table over here, just to kind of hold it upright. Okay, that seems to be good. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it there for the night. Hopefully it won't tip over after I go to bed. Let me bring you down for a better angle here. So I think that's a nice shape, a nice silhouette for it. I think that's gonna be really pretty. So hopefully it dries like that and doesn't collapse. So, all right, I will see you guys in the morning. Okay guys, I got the vase done. I'm so excited how it turned out. I've got some cheap fake flowers in it just to kind of see what it looks like. But wow, I'm so excited with how this turned out. Just turn it. It's so pretty. There's so much dimension. It was really easy getting the plastic off too. I tried to film that. I'm sorry I didn't get it in the video, but it was super awkward and I was having trouble getting it all in frame. So, but it just peeled right off. That shower curtain worked really, really well. So, I mean, you could position this vase, you know, pretty much any direction that you wanted it to face. And the colors are just beautiful. They blended so nicely. So I'm just really excited about this. I'm definitely going to be making some more. So, well, as always, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you enjoyed it, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and click the bell so you get notifications when I upload new content. But I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.